So I've been living in my van for the past year now. I started from nothing when I first got my van, and I've been building it up ever since while I'm living in it. And it's looking great so far. I've made a lot of progress and I've come a long ways. A lot of people have been romanticizing about van life and traveling and doing all this stuff. I currently live in my van because my drives to work are extremely long, and no matter where I decide to live for work, the drive is always going to be long. So it's easier if I were to just convert this van into a full-blown house. I got all the power I need, I got lights, I got a solar system, I have a backup generator in case I need to run my power from the solar panels not working. This battery bank underneath my bed essentially powers everything I have in this van. I've had some ups and downs on this build. I was just going through a water pump problem. My van recently froze over completely and I had to sleep in the cold. Yes, and it wouldn't really be that bad, honestly. I'd fall asleep right now. And then from the van freezing over, the water froze inside the water pump. The water expanded inside the pump and caused the pump to break. The water pump bursted. We're gonna troubleshoot that water pump and get it running again. Oh. Ooh. So I just swapped it out completely. So I got running water again. I can do my dishes, which is hype. I'm following a strict bodybuilding regime as well. So van life helps with that. So yeah, this is the day in the life of living in a van. All right, here's our new water pump. We're gonna open it up. We're gonna hook it up. We're gonna just replace this one. This one's bad. It's another box in a box. I think I got it. I think the fuse is good, the water's good, everything is running. So the pump right now is wired directly to my breaker box. So now we can unwire it since we know that it works. We can remove those wires from the breaker and then we can put an actual switch on it, which is what we're gonna do next. Okay, all those connections that I made were kind of just a test to make sure that the water pump works. We know that the water pump works now, and this is 16 gauge wires. And then I decided to use 12 gauge for this side, which is too much. So despite it being too much, what I can do is I can cut this end and I can cut this end and I can put a 14 gauge wire in between these two, and then I can just install crimp connectors on each of them, which is what I'm gonna do now. Okay, so these wires right here go into my breaker because these go to my water pump. So I don't want these wires to just join in with this nest right here. As time goes by, I'm gonna slowly start getting more and more organized. This nest of wires right here, I wanna organize this a little bit better. I have some flexible conduit right here that I'm gonna use to make this a little bit more organized. It'll still look like a nest of shit, but this is gonna just prevent it from having live wires all the way around. And I'm gonna start running my conduit with this set of wires. You can get this at Lowe's. This is 1/2 inch by 25 feet. Now all the wiring is for this. When you got your rocker switch here, I got the ones that have the 3 studs in the back. So here's the rocker switch that we're going to be using. If you flip it around, these are both for the positive. I don't think it matters which side is input and which side's output, but I'm going to do, this is from the fuse to the switch, and then this is from the switch to the pump. I guess I'll do that and see what happens. And then if you put a ground on it, on this separate island part, I believe that's just to power the LED light. So I don't know, we're gonna find out. So this is from the switch to the pump. So I'm gonna hook it up to this middle terminal, or the top terminal from this island stack. So here I got some fish tape. You hook this fish tape to the wire, and then it helps channel your wire through the conduit. Alright, let's test this out now that I improved my wiring. We'll see if my wiring actually improved or not. Alright, so by the switch, I can power it on. So the switch is off, water's off, we're good. Do my dishes now with a nice, fresh, clean sink. Looks good. This is what we got here in the camper van. I build it as I go, so it looks pretty messy, but when is it not messy? You can see there's still a lot of spots in the van that aren't finished yet. But if we come to the left, I just hooked up this nice vanity system. It's got a tip out drawer so I can access all my sink stuff like the sponge and the brush. And then underneath we just got some water tanks underneath that operate the faucet. So the faucet has water to actually get. So that's the gray water, and then this is the fresh water. To the left of the vanity, we got this little flip up table. This adds more room when I'm working in the kitchen. Like let's say I'm like cutting up food or something, I got more space to work through. This is also a good dinner table as well, or even a good little office area for me to work, set my laptop on and edit my videos. And then it just flips back down. And then on the right side of this vanity, I got another little tip out drawer. And then I got some pull out drawers. I got my supplements, my soaps, and then a towel. And then this bottom one here, I got some drugs. Just kidding, this is just laundry detergent. And then this bottom shelf pops out like this, and then I got access to my trash can, which is really nice. And then eventually I want to continue this counter all the way across to the stove, but I want it to be stood up all the way. And then I'll just have these drawer slides all right around here, so it'll just be like a massive wall of drawers, so I don't need to have messes on the floor like this all the time when I have a huge wall of drawer slides that I have access to. But across from the vanity, I got some fridges. I'm into bodybuilding, so I need to have a lot of fridges. Underneath is this pull-out toilet. This toilet is awesome. It's smell proof. It's very sanitary. So you just go right in, and then it bags it up for you. Think of it like dropping a brick into a sock and then spinning the brick while it's inside the sock. That's what it does, but it's in a bag, so it makes it smell proof. And then this console is what powers all my 120 volt stuff. It's currently off right now to save power in my van. But then this breaker box is also linked to this. This inverter inverts 120 volts to 12 volts. So I have a breaker box next to it. This is all 12 volt stuff. So here's some USB ports that are 12 volts. My lights are 12 volts. The water pump underneath this vanity is 12 volts. I got an AC unit that's 12 volts. I have a fan that's 12 volts. And then over here, my heater, 12 volts. The heater is underneath the passenger seat. This stove is really nice. It's a 1 burner. I got a massive propane tank underneath it in this propane box that's sealed shut. And then we got my sofa that flops out to a bed. But we're gonna call it a night tonight, and we're gonna hit the gym bright and early tomorrow morning. All right, so we're here. We're at Anytime Fitness, and we're gonna start our workout with chest presses on the flat bench. I always start out with chest. Whatever my lagging muscle is in my physique, I usually start first. And I do that because if I were to do chest last, when I did an hour-and-a-half workout, it wouldn't be ideal hitting the lagging muscle for the last part of my workout if I already have some sort of psychological fatigue. So I'll do chest first, and I'll just warm up with light weights. When I warm up, I usually do 50% load, and then I gradually increase all the way to 100% load with what I normally lift. And then as I gradually increase the weight, I lower the amount of reps. So now I'm just gonna do like 3 reps. And then once I get to my max weight that I'm normally comfortable with, I'll just do 1. And then now I'm done warming up for chest for good. I won't be warming up any more chest. I do this with every muscle too. I do 1 non-working set for each muscle. As for exercises though, I don't do any non-working set. I just do my 1 warm-up sets, which are generally quick. It takes me about 2 minutes to warm up. This machine, I'm a personal fan of. The reason why I like this machine so much is 1, it's got great range of motion, and 2, I'm very strong with this machine. Any machine that has decent range of motion that you're strong with, you should definitely keep it as a staple. It doesn't really matter what the lift is. If you're strong with that particular movement, it should just be a part of your staple, regardless how bad the lift is in regards to range of motion. As long as you're not hurting yourself when you're doing it, if you're strong with that lift, keep it around. Because you gotta think, strength is what also builds your muscle too. So we got this machine here. We're gonna do our sets on it. We're gonna do drop sets with everything. I usually just do 1 set, and it's generally a drop set. I make sure that all my sets are good. And if my set didn't feel good, then I'm gonna do it again. I'm gonna do it all over again. So, all right, so I haven't really trained my upper mid chest yet, because I did the lying chest press, and then I did the flies. So now I'm gonna train my mid to upper chest by doing these. So we're just gonna hit that one really quick. Same thing, drop set. My next lagging muscle is my back. So I'm going down the list here from my worst undeveloped muscle to my greatest developed muscle. My greatest developed muscle is gonna be the last part of my workout. So I'm just going down the list. So chest is my most underdeveloped muscle, and then next is my back. Specifically my lats. So we're gonna do the lats first. It's a new muscle group, so I'm gonna warm up again. So when I'm training, I like to train in the hypertrophy range of around 8 to 15 reps. And then when I do my drop sets, when I'm onto my drop set, I try to keep the rep range the same. I'm not necessarily training for strength. If I was training for strength, then I'd be doing 1 to 7 reps. I want to build muscle here, so I like to do more reps. I feel like it burns the muscle more and it tears the muscle fibers more. So this is a weird machine. I'm always going to different gyms because the job site's always changing. But I mean, this machine essentially, I've used this machine before, just never in this sense. This is what makes it so weird. I've just never seen that before. It's also pretty hard to track your workout when you're constantly going to different gyms. So I like to keep notes for each gym that I'm at. If I know I'm gonna be on a job site for more than a month, then I'll make a split for that gym in particular. But for the most part, you just gotta track everything you can, and you gotta just use the machines that you know is the best for range of motion. But next week I could go to a different gym, and them having a machine like this could be their best back machine. This gym doesn't even have the cable rows, the rows where you're like this with the cable on the tower. So I'm resorting to this, but I have all of my weights tracked on essentially every machine in any gym that I go to. So I still know what I did last week on this machine. I haven't used this machine in a minute, but I have the weight written down for last time I used it. I know that I'm progressively overloading, so I'm gonna go a little bit heavier than I did 2 weeks ago on this machine, and I'm gonna rep it out to failure, of course. So this Anytime Fitness doesn't really have a lot of good back machines. I was looking for a T-bar row somewhere because I really want to do that right now for some reason. But they didn't have it, and they don't have a lot of back machines. This gym seems like a female dominant gym because they have like one back machine, but they got like 7 booty builder machines here, which I'm not complaining about. I'm gonna train some rear delts though. I'm gonna do some rear delt swings, some of these. So when I do these, I like to keep the seat at like a 45, you know? So like this is 90, this is like 45. So that's how we got the seat right now. And then it's just as simple as going back like this. You want to push your shoulders downward though when you're doing it. And then you just want to feel like in your rhomboids and like your upper back. So the next on the list, I'm basically left with arms. I know I'm going down the list from most underdeveloped to the most developed. My most developed is triceps, and then biceps are pretty well developed too. I mean, my arms are essentially all well-rounded, well-balanced. But just from the past, my shoulders used to be underdeveloped, so I'll continue on with that. So we'll just do shoulders next. I'm just gonna do the basic lateral raises for now. I got this overhead press here that trains your shoulders. We gotta keep my overhead lifting on check because I'm a drywall hanger and we hang drywall on ceilings too. So we're gonna do these just for shits and giggles. So just like with the back situation, they don't have a lot of shoulder machines here, which I'm totally fine with. It's all right, we can make it work. Maybe that's my sign to get a little bit bold here and do a little bit of some front delt work. So really all I'm gonna do is I'm basically just gonna do a lateral raise, but it's gonna be like a forward motion just so I'm hitting my front delt more. So just like this. And then I got these handles on here, but I don't need them, so I can take them off so I don't hit myself in the face or something. All right, so we're on to biceps now. They got this preacher machine, and then they got like the actual machine with the stack of the plates. But I personally like doing my preacher curls on this more. For some reason it just works better for me. And this one's nice because you can take the easy bar off and then you can do it unilaterally if you want to. But I'm just gonna load up this easy bar and I'm gonna do the curls, and then I'm just gonna do the curls like this. Okay, so we're back over to the dumbbells. I'm gonna do just the standard dumbbell curls, just as standard as it gets. But I like doing the preacher curl before that because I feel the most out of the preacher curl when I do dumbbells. When I train biceps, I feel it the most when I do the preacher curls. That's why I started with that first, but I'm just gonna do some dumbbell curls now. I'm gonna hit some of these. These are probably, I love training biceps because no matter what machine I'm on, I just get a crazy pump with my biceps. So I'm gonna do these. These ones are amazing too. Like I don't even know which one's better, honestly. Out of the 3 that I already trained. Biceps are just easy to train, I think. So we're on a triceps now. This is the last muscle group that we're hitting. I'm on a new muscle again, so I'm gonna do a quick warm up here. But this is what the lift is gonna look like. Gotta take my hat off. Okay, so when I'm doing this, I'm looking at myself in the mirror and I'm making sure that my elbows are essentially the same. And in the same placement. Like I can see in the mirror right now that both of my elbows are perfectly level, perfectly angled to a 45 every time I do the lift. And I need to make sure I watch myself do this lift, because if I look away, if I look at the ceiling and I start doing it, you can start to get out of whack. I don't know if the camera can see that, but I got one, this arm is at a perfect 45 and then this one's like super low. So it's always important to just watch yourself when you're doing those. This gym has the long rope, because when I do my tricep pushdowns with the shorter rope and I'm only going like this for my extension, for some reason it makes my elbows hurt. If I get a full extension though, my elbows don't hurt as much. So we're gonna do that. If you're tall like me, you gotta stand back when you do them, and then you have to bend over so you're still getting the same effect as if you were standing up straight. So you back up, then you bend over, and then you do your tricep extension so the rope doesn't hit the top, right? If I were to stand right here and do my tricep extension while I'm tall, I do my extension, come back up, it hits right here, right when I'm at, right when I have more room for extension. So this is why I stand back and then I bend over. Bending over just gives you the same effect as if you were just standing up straight, you know what I mean? So now that I'm bent over and I do my extension, I come back up, now I get a full extension here. I'm not hitting the top and it's not stopping me halfway.